This is the Simp. This is Michi Hoyer. Welcome everyone to this special stream today. So we are at rFactor 2 and we are comparing the brand new Formula Renault 3.5 from iRacing in rFactor 2 right today, where it exists since quite a long of time. I've had some practice session together with Ben Klaus and so guided driving lessons with him, so I kind of know the car pretty well to that point. However, with yesterday we took that car out at Spa Francochamps on iRacing. We want to see what is the direct comparison to it here in rFactor 2. So we've loaded up into the sim. I have chosen an rFactor 2 conversion from Assetto Corsa, which has been modified by the Formula Simracing community for the needs of the rules. So you know what, we just go straight away and head out and see what the car is like. The first thing I saw, it also has no launch control, as it might be visible behind the event list of the layout. Beyond that, the car is from 2014 and has DRS available, but we won't use it. So here we are around Spa Francochamps then. Looking how the setup is been good for the straights. We're not hitting the limiter, but we hit 370. kph, so going through La Combe the first time, down into Rivage. Car is not very easy to drive into first place because we do have a lot of cold tires. So the car comes out of the pits with 30-degree ambient temperature. Meanwhile we are at 65 on the right side, 55 on the left side. Can't see that because that is the LCD screen behind the webcam picture. So I'm gonna do the radio stuff right here, and don't be surprised by the gravel you see left hand side of the track. As I said, this is a special FSR version which has been converted to fulfill the needs of FSR regulations in terms of going wide and cut protection. So you have gravel at some spots where usually there isn't some. This is a big advantage here for rFactor 2. Whoops. As we spin it around and bust up chicane. And directly again in that second part. Rear tires are lit up to 120 degree temperature, so it's quite slippery. Hey there Sven. Hey there Michael Clark, how you doing buddy? So let's have a look how the overall car behavior is when the tires are warmed up. Also that Renault 3.5 is a pure bitch in the back. Going up Eau Rouge. Between you and me guys, I think there's way too much aero on the car as we have the default setup right now. That means we go into the pits very soon to do some adjustments. Cool. Wow. So first initial thought, when being on default setup, there is no big difference to the iRacing version. Car likes to spin very much on the rear end. Hey Andre. Sven, we're not only going to do rFactor today, actually I'm planning to do the first VRS GT sprint race around Tsukuba. So this car does not feel very connected in the rear. However, it feels quite connected to the ground on the front. I'm doing well, Andre, thank you very much. Hope you're doing fine. Can we do a bus stop without spinning? Yeah, I am very sure that the rear end of this car is way too low. I'm scratching on the ground.
The lap was a 2:08.75.
Hey Flatstone. Remember yesterday's lap time, 2 minutes, sub 2 minute, 1:59.4. Oh wow, there is like zero grip in the rear of the car. The front feels quite okay, definitely less understeery than yesterday's Formula Renault 3.5. Oh, Michael Clark, you got some information there. Because I've not heard of that stuff you're just talking about, but as it is at the Hockenheim Ring, which is not very far away from me, I think I'm happy to go there. So finishing the first lap, hopefully we will probably have to do a drift style, rally style around the bus stop chicane. I'm already expecting that. Flatstone, to be fair, I would need to start dialing a setup in here on rFactor 2, which is the next big step I'm going to do right here today on the stream. Because in all fairness, yeah. In all fairness, yesterday we had a dialed in setup as well. So 2 minutes 04.0. And really, let's have a look on how the car is stepping out on us here. And it's happening right here. And you can see the rear end tire. The rear right tire is a bit fully unloaded. You can still see it being loaded here. But here it is totally in the air. You can see it from very good from that perspective. That means either the car has way too much roll or it's been picked up somewhere. Definitely that is the reason why we start sliding at all here in the rear. So I'm pretty sure it got something to do with the elevation change right here in the inside of the curb. So we need to have a look at that. So first of all, have to admit we should probably put 40 liters in, or 45. That is what we had yesterday. Vehicle only, so you can see there is no preset loaded. Wing position, I probably have chosen high downforce pack, so we're gonna go back to the mid downforce pack. So we go tuning, downforce packages, medium. That gives us a medium downforce package. I want to have toe definitely in degrees, and display units. Intended for engineers. Yeah, we stick with that. So reloading into the track then. So we keep in mind the 2 minutes point 4 flat as being the first benchmark. And then we're going to have a look how we can tweak the setup towards our liking. Once again, car felt very good in the front. However, it felt not too perfect in the rear. So, starting to reset the numbers, 45 degrees. There is a different look in here on the wings. So let's have a look. Power is very much closed already when we look at the percentages. I want to have the car a little bit more rotating, definitely, when being on throttle. So 45, 42, but I want to have the stability on turning, so that's why I close the brake differential and give it a little bit more of preload. Furthermore, probably right now I need a new setup for the gears, means a longer sixth. First is fixed, that is bad. 5. Yeah, that looks to be okay. Alright, further on the chassis. We have a ride height of 42 millimeters right now, so the car is pretty much low there at the back. So we heighten that to 15. Also gonna put the puckers a bit lower, so that there is enough elevation change, or there is enough travel space on the suspension itself. Beyond that, the pack is on 10 here as well. Spring is pretty stiff. Well, the front spring rate is, you have no spring in the front whatsoever, so it's detached. Spring rate in the back should be a little softer, as we need a lot of cornering speed right here. If you take the toe in a little less out, that makes the turn-in not too aggressive and should also increase the stability. The roll center of the chassis, well, that means the overall roll center there for the chassis. Not too sure if changing there anything might be the right way to go right now. What's definitely the right way to go on rFactor 2, despite us being a bit weird, is close to minimum. Close to minimum tire pressures. You may remember the camber settings from yesterday. They were pretty much the same in the default set. And also I want to go a little lower with the brake pedal force, as it is a quite hard car on brakes. Herman, I'm still trying to figure out which one is the better one. Feeling wise, they are the very same. I would even say that the rFactor 2 one is a lot more loosey in the back, and we're looking for it now, whether we have improved that behavior. Yes, Michael Clark, the rFactor 2 has now an URD designed DTM mod. I heard about it, but I don't have it yet. So mid front down. Whee! I hope that was just water cold tires. 40 degrees in the tires, but the mid downforce helps us accelerating the car towards 290 nearly. I might just have put too much front wing, or not enough rear wing, either of those. Well, if your F1 car does that every lap, You may probably want to put the ballast from 9 to 8 or something there, William. So the first few corners are always tricky in rFactor 2 as the tyres are extremely cold, having no tyre warmers. But the overall balance should improve once the first lap is done. So, bus stop chicane. Oh, too quick. Oh, the last change into the first is violent now. Second gear is really short or really long, so we may have to change that. They definitely want to shorten the second again. For better behavior in slow speed corners. Car behaves good through a rouge now. Very true there, F1's got Golf. Oh, no, this is, the car's way too much, or way not enough power there in the rear, so we're gonna increase the wing again. By a click, we want to shorten second and third for the suspension. And also have a look, we want the slow rebound to be higher, so the weight keeps at the rear, and also when accelerating the weight is allowed to come earlier towards the front. Third spring is a little softer. Sadly you can't do anything on the front suspension, so the front suspension itself is pretty soft already, and I think the rear ARBs could be a few clicks softer. So let's have another go. Hey Christian. Yeah, thank you for your advice. Oh dear, Michael Clark, you got a challenge ready. I kinda can guess it. Let me guess. You're a T5 mod around, I don't know. Is there a Misano on rFactor 2? I would love to race the DTM car around Misano. Anyway, not sitting in a DTM car right now, but sitting here in rFactor 2, braking for the com. Yeah, the rear end is a little more stable. Comparing the sound of both cars, I think they are pretty equal. Not many differences being located there, I guess. Car's very tail happy once you step on the gas, so maybe need to close that differential again. Well, let's make sure to brake early enough this time. Not quite. Car has a lot more torque than in iRacing, so when I step on the gas here in second gear in the slow speed corners, Really can hear the wheel spin a little bit in the back, so there's a slight slip of the rear tires. Oh, nearly spun. Tyres not warmed up yet, to be fair. 66 degree left hand side, 61 right hand side. Also probably looking to have a little bit more brake bias towards the front, just like that. That definitely helps stabilizing the rear. I guess that is a typical rFactor 2 thing, that we should lower the rear end in order to make the diffuser work, as this generates quite a lot of aerodynamic grip there in the back. Anyway, the cars are somewhat identical in configuration now. At least the car celebrating too early here.
That was a 2:04.89.
2 minutes with that. 2 minutes 4 with that spin. So let's have a look whether we can improve it. Oh, Michael Clark, I hear you. I'm happy I found a way to find you on Twitter. I can leave you a message now whenever I want. No need to hope that you are lucky enough and have the time to be on the streams. So look, that is a clear difference towards iRacing and rFactor 2. In iRacing the car would have been gone for good and I would have spun right into the barrier. Here in rFactor 2 at least you have the chance catching it. Not saying this is quick or any good for the tyres, by all means. Gravel. So in iRacing it would have been an off-track clearly. Okay, so keep working on the set. Let's try increasing the packers then and lowering the right high. That should make the car maybe not bottoming out, but at the very same time we're quite low in the back to generate some grip over the diffuser. Ultiman, feel free to post in that link or post in the link you need. We want to have more stability. Keep the anti-roll bar on at the front. Third spring, that is usually controlling the right height. I'll make it a click softer and rear spring rate a few clicks softer. Maybe not the minimum. Beyond that, I believe we have a little bit more closed differential that should suit the overall balance. Then we go out again. Eau Rouge could be quite a pain now. So guys, we're gonna be on iRacing in a good hour from now. with Veer. Ooh. Keep it out of the barrier. The tires are done though. Gonna be out with a Veer SGT Sprint series around Tsukuba, and I'm actually not quite sure whether I really want to run that series really, but it is new content and I like having a go at it, and probably I will regret it right the moment I went into it, but nevertheless looking for a very interesting circuit setup wise. Yeah, if you don't go too wide and no rouge, then there is no problem. This version has not very much grip off the line though, and as you can see the racing line is not very saturated as well, so waiting for tires to clearly warm up. Hey Terry, Michael, what LS track do you mean? As we're trying to brake for the bus stop. No, it seems to be characteristics of the car that's likely to spin in that area. Not yet there, Michael. That is a converted version from Assetto Corsa, and it has been used in this year's Formula Simracing race. So this is a different type of Spa. I do not know where to get the laser scanned version from, to be honest. Max, because I'm expecting a lot of mayhem in the GT3s around that little circuit. Anyway, here we go. Definitely made the setup quicker. Sticking it in third gear is way to go here. No name corner. No, it's not the laser scanned version of Spa. Would love to get it though. Solid performance through Puhon. Nearly gained an entire 10th there. Went a bit too quick into that chicane. And into the final sector we go. Taking a lot of speed advantage here. So half a second we're up. Yeah, I think that the laser scanned version would look different. So if I can get hands on it, I will definitely go for it. So despite spinning, we're crossing the line here for a 2 minutes flat 0.8. Look at that, guys. So we're just missing a second and a half from yesterday's top time from us on iRacing. Okay, I'm gonna contact Simracing 604 then. Lecombe. Missed the apex here quite heavily. Yeah, don't touch that inside curb. Okay. We're not missing much to kind of raceable setup, to be fair. Raising the rear end again. Going another click softer on the rear anti-roll bar, as that really needs some roll. And also need to increase the rear camber to make the rear end be more capable. I can't wait for them to release another Porsche 911 GT3R. That is what I'm really looking forward to. Despite I'm getting a little bit annoyed that it's the Porsche 911 that's going to be the sim racing whore of everything. So whatever sim you go to, it got some Porsche 911 running on it. Does that look like a stabilized rear end now? Remember, we still have cold tires. Yeah, that car feels much more controllable right now. As I said, even despite the car might slide a little bit, you can finally counter steer it and catch it. Whereas on iRacing, well, you're lucky if you caught it, but you definitely lose 2 seconds to it. So the iRacing Renault definitely is not very forgiving at all. Here we go. I still believe there is more torque on this rFactor 2 FR 3.5. Going through Rouge. I think we're also hitting more top speed. 280 right now, gonna be 287 once we start braking for Lecombe. Not quite perfect, but with 4/10 up. No-name corner, still 4/10 up. Let's see if we can nail Pouhon again. Oh, gravel. Chicane. So depending on the bus stop, we can make it into the 59s. But I think that's literally it now. there is still some time to
That was
find.
a 2, 0,
We don't go wide to
0.65.
I think that needs to be the main target for this lap. As we're missing a 10th here. Doesn't like the curbs a lot. No. Okay, not quite perfect. Touch that gravel again. Final adjustment, guys. Hey Nick Fry, how you doing? So Andre, we got another German talking partner in the chat now. Final blow, guys. We're just gonna do 1 or 2 more laps and see. I definitely can do a 59. I won't get any faster though. Car has no engine mixture, that's true. Getting the feeling for Puhon. Yeah, that is how you go through that turn. Once again, really want to stay away from those curbs most of the time, as the car doesn't really like him. Yeah, if you go too far on that apex, car definitely wants to spin out. Yeah, I heard Max Verstappen was on that sim yesterday. So, maximize everything we got. Don't touch these curbs there. No optimal exit. Lol Robin. Yeah, on throttle the car is quite understeery, but the rear end is loose as fuck. So, stupid bump in that turn screwed me over again.
That was a 2:00.48.
I saw it on a post on Facebook being posted by Richard Gafencu, iRacer from the community. If you do a little slide and include that in your lap time, that time is gone for good. Can we find 1.5 tenths up the hill? Probably not entirely, so bus stop is gonna be the decider of the lap. I'll just take it up the curb and counter steer it immediately. Still quickest way.
That lap was a
come on.
2:00.04.
Hey there, Peter. Once I'm done with that lap, I'm gonna go a little bit in more detail with how those cars feel in comparison. Took too much speed into that turn. Same here. And that's the lap more or less done. So, what's the differences between those two cars? And I'm going to not make it an incredibly long talk about things. What is my best time around Hockenheim? In what kind of car I've raced Hockenheim? I think in the race room DTM it was a 131 or 132. In a Formula Simracing car, I wouldn't need to lie, but a 1:10. So looking at the car model, it looks pretty much identical. It also got this characteristic rear wing where the end plate is lower than the side plate's height. Sound-wise, they sound pretty equal. Tire-wise, they are entirely different, to be fair. This Formula Renault 3.5 from iRacing, and now Guide Hold Your Breath, feels sticked and glued to the racetrack and to the surface. It got its usual understeeriness, so the usual understeer going on in the specific iRacing style, I would say. But the car itself feels more or less glued to the surface and very direct. This car, however, feels very, very unconnected to the ground. So it feels like having grip at the front, at the same time when being on the throttle it feels like having grip at the rear. But overall the car is twitchy, the car is nervous, the car feels very stiff and unhappy. Especially here around, look, you're immediately gonna slide it, and that is some sort of, it always feels on the edge of wanting to step out and wanting to break out in the back on rFactor 2. This is different in iRacing though. It feels quite settled, it feels quite good there until the point where it goes. So once the rear tires lose grip in iRacing, car's pretty much gone. You can catch it well with locking the brakes, or you can catch it with a super fast reaction on the steering wheel, but you're not allowed to be on the gas while doing the counter steer, otherwise car's gone. It's too much torque on it. Whereas on this car, even if there is a pretty big slide, you can turn the front wheels enough to catch the slide without losing too much time. So as a comparison, yeah, Robin, of course, and probably if I'm gonna do more than half an hour spending on setup stuff, then the car is pretty much fixed to the ground. Just a little look into Motec and see whether the car's bottoming out too much or something, whether you need more packers or anything. So right now on rFactor 2, I would say it's more, it is more a setup issue rather than an actual physics issue. However, that is just how the car feels. I mean, yesterday we did like half an hour of setting up the car. Today we did half an hour of setting up the car. So to keep the comparison somewhat the same. Formula Renault 3.5 on iRacing seems to have a slower or lower range of top speed. So you can set the wing angles, mid downforce, high downforce, low downforce in the setup itself. Despite here in rFactor 2, it is a car configuration, and then the car's width from high downforce to mid downforce goes a good 15 kph quicker. Hey Kieran, yes, I'm using G29 still. So yeah, if I would have to draw a conclusion, I would say the iRacing car is more fun, but more unpredictable, and especially more difficult to catch. Whereas the rFactor 2 car in general is harder to drive, very fun to drive though. I'm not quite sure whether I would like to have that car in a sprint race, as at some point the tires will be done. But it's fun to race. It's more calculable. So with the car being feeling of being on the edge of losing the grip anyway, you're more aware, you're more alert to a potential spin that might come up. And yeah, that pretty much draws the conclusion. So Michael Clark, as you just said, the time I mentioned was the actual time for the professional drivers. I didn't know that, but that is my personal best, what I did in the DTM car around Hockenheim. So I'm not sure. I do have an Hockenheim version for rFactor 2. I would need to take those DTM cars out and see. But anyway, thank you very much for tuning in there, Michael Clark. B Tulski, thank you so much for your subscribing. Welcome to the show. Marks the 1,760 subscriber as we keep climbing on the number. See you there, Michael Clark. Talk to you later as we be live for another set of iRacing. So we're trying to fiddle in a setup for the Mercedes AMG GT3 for the Tsukuba race circuit, the new content there in iRacing, and I'm gonna do in the first VRS Sprint Series. That stream is starting in a good 40 minutes. Beyond that, tomorrow we won't have a stream most likely, or if so, a very short one with a very short detailed look into Assetto Corsa Competizione 4. So we're gonna take that new car out, whatever it's gonna be it. Hey Casey, oh, you called me a Lewis Hamilton there, that is quite a big honor. Anyway, thank you very much indeed guys for joining, and hope you somewhat enjoyed the program so far, so stay tuned for the new race to come up, and we're gonna see each other on the other side there when there is iRacing time, so the VRS Sprint Series going on. It's the Ferrari and the Hungaroring. Hungaroring. Well, it's a fun technical track, that's for sure. So Hungaroring is a very, very technical track. So we got, anyway, that is different stuff, different business going on tomorrow. Beyond that, I'm setting up a question and answer stream coming up probably between Christmas and New Year. Thank you, Peter Westmuth, for the feedback, and thank you everyone for being here. If you like what you see, guys, make sure to like that video, hit the subscribe button, ring the bell so you get a notification the next time I'm live again, which is going to be in 37 minutes. Guys, thank you so much for watching so far. Happy Tuesday to everyone. This is the Simpit. I'm Michi, and I see you guys out on the track.